Cyberpunk?
I did. I played it when it first came out.
Oh, I'm sorry. You should play it again because it's better now.
I got through a lot of it. Like, I remember getting through the point where I think your homeboy dies, like the buff dude. You go in to assassinate people in like the high rise.
Bro,
Like,
that's like the first 6 hours of the game. That's barely before the world even opens up. Like, really.
Okay, there's two things that happen. I either get like 80% through a game and I'm like, yeah, whatever. Like, that happened to Outer Worlds. I got super deep into Outer Worlds, and then the last 20% I was like, eh. Or I get so heavy into this.
Oh, we're gonna talk about that.
Because it's bad.
We're gonna talk about that. That's like the most important part of the game. No, okay, it's fine. It's fine. I'm a big Outer Worlds stan, as you would put it. So it's
otherwise, I call it the Pokemon effect. When I would play Pokemon, I would spend hours grinding so that way I could absolutely obliterate like the first gym with my weakest Pokemon.
Oh, you're that kid.
And I spend so much time doing all that stuff that by the time I get back to the story, I'm like, I'm just not interested anymore. And
yeah,
I think
you like
that's
burned
what happened with
yourself out.
Cyberpunk.
No, well,
yeah.
I was actually going to defend you either way, because I think when Cyberpunk came out originally, I played it for like 60 hours and basically almost beat the main storyline entirely. I don't remember a single thing from it. Like, I'm replaying it again and just going like, oh, whoa, I don't remember that. So it's insane how you can just passively do something like that and not realize. Just like starting this episode without realizing. Hi, welcome to the 32nd.
Hey, everybody, how's it going?
Episode 32nd? Fuck, I did it again, man.
You didn't check. You didn't even check.
Joseph, cut this out. And yeah, if you want to hear any of what we just talked about that Joseph cut out, maybe you join the Patreon and you can find out. You'll be in on the inside jokes there. Might be one of the cool kids. Where the hell did he go? Mitchell? I can't do this alone.
Everything's
I probably could.
There wasn't anything else in this scene that I felt like was distracting that I had to move momentarily. We're good. We're fine.
I'm gonna cut that out too. You know what? Let's cut this whole episode out. It's only gonna be a minute long.
Oh,
what were we?
That sounds about right.
What were we talking about before my near perfect segue into the intro?
Baldur's Gate and why it's the best game ever.
That's right.
Close.
All right. So speaking of Baldur's Gate, I played Baldur's Gate on live stream recently. Which, hey, if you want to follow me, Skorge Slaps on Twitch, and we got Lord Tsuku as well. He also streams.
Big
LAWD
streamer.
Yeah. Oh, big. All right.
TSUKU. Know who it is.
And that's not two U's at the end. He was just saying, you know who it is after the fact. It's confusing. I know.
Yeah. But there is still a second U in Tsuku, so.
But at the end,
links down
not
below.
Two U's at the end. There just are two U's. Man, this is confusing. We're just
couldn't
have said it better myself. I played Baldur's Gate.
Cyberpunk.
No.
Oh yeah, Baldur's Gate. I forgot we segued
on stream.
to that.
Yeah, and I played for like an hour and a half.
So you made your character.
Guess who didn't save again? And guess who died?
It's like you want to create a bad experience for yourself.
No,
this is self-imposed.
I absolve myself entirely, okay? Because I fast traveled multiple times. I talked to multiple people. I went to multiple different areas, and you're telling me in not one of those instances it autosaves? Why? Why not? What am I like? It's 2024, people.
This game gave you so much, and you have the audacity to say, you know what?
I want a little more.
That's not good enough.
I want a little more.
That's not enough.
Well, you know what? I would love to enjoy all the things that they give me, but I can't because I play it for 3 hours and then for some reason I forget to save, quote unquote, and then I lose it all. And the sad part is I ended stream without realizing I had lost it all. So then after the fact, I realized it and was like, well, I don't know whether or not I can stream again until I get back to the part I was at, or if I just stream everything I did again already, who really cares? Like, yeah. So I'm in a love-hate relationship with this game. The love outweighs the hate by far, of course. But for the last couple days, man, it's been burning me. It's been a burn. That's why I started playing Oblivion.
That makes sense. I need you to write a sticky note that says save in all caps and put it on your computer while you're streaming and playing Baldur's Gate.
Set like an alarm every 5 minutes on my phone that just says save. That might not be a bad idea. But I did start. Funny.
Oh,
go ahead.
I would say it'd be funny to go through how many different save files I have for my one playthrough.
Oh my god. Thank God games don't have that problem anymore where I think like early on if you had too many save files, it could cause like a memory leak in some games. Because I can imagine a game like Baldur's Gate, that's just begging for it.
There's over 100 save files easily.
I bet more. I bet like
yeah.
Because I'd imagine one session you're probably saving it 15 to 20 times.
If not more. There's times I've done like, oh man, it's really scary to think about for as much as I've played that game.
Yeah, I bet you saved that shit a bunch. You be a saving little bitch, ain't you? You save it all over the place, ain't you? Just like our sponsor today.
Saving 15% or more by switching to Baldur's Gate. Get your discounted insurance through Baldur's Gate at neonvalleypod.com/Patreon #Baldur's Gate for 20% or more.
I can't even back you up on this one, man. There has been some discourse amongst people in our fan base, our devout fan base. The people who watch our YouTube shorts and have no idea who we are, that seem to agree with you that Oblivion is better than Skyrim.
It's because it is.
All right, well,
I'm the people's messiah. They have chosen me.
Oh, I'm proud of you, man. No, it's a good game. No, I have been replaying it, and it is very good. It is not as good as Skyrim. Just saying it. Just saying it, bro. Nope. I'll keep playing it though. I'll keep playing it.
You will. How's the autosave function?
Because I want to. It's great. It's fantastic. In fact, actually, no, it's not. You do need to save pretty often in that game as well, from what I understand.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah. Just wanted to, give you a little shout out there, since apparently you were right. And
happens.
Although it's off topic, but that GIF you sent, the second I saw it, I know I replied it, but his voice, I just educate yourself. Like I could hear it like so distinctly. It's such a distinct
voice.
Yeah, I probably don't even have to say what that's from for people to know what I'm talking about. Like I didn't do that great of an impression, but I did enough of a cadence that I bet people are like, oh yeah.
I wonder, because it's one of those voices, anytime I hear a movie with it, I'm like, I know all the work that he's done, but I don't know who that is.
Oh, I do. He's in That 70s Show. He plays the priest who's like hip and cool with the kids, but also like, is always trying to convince them to go with Jesus.
I think I actually know who you're talking about. Okay, that makes sense. What is the voice actor's name?
Okay.
Evan McDonald?
All right, I'm really glad that I'm glad that you found it. Hold on. Because I'm about to dub you the worst Googler ever. Because we've done this now for like 3 episodes where you cannot find anything, and I literally search one thing, and I'm like, oh, you mean this person? Like, this has happened so many times. Yes, Kevin McDonald. I literally just looked up Lilo Stitch cast, and it's the 4th person on the cast list. Pleakley. Yes.
It actually took me, I think, 2 to 2.5 different Google searches for me to get something that I could actually work off.
Let me guess. Did you look up "educate yourself" quote guy or something like that? Is that what you looked up?
No, I just typed in Lilo and Stitch Pleakley, but I also spelled Pleakley wrong.
Oh, that's fair. To be fair, I didn't even know his name was Pleakley until I read it right now, but I knew who the actor was. So,
which is funny because I remembered the character's name for some fucking reason, but he did a lot.
Yeah,
he was in Invader Zim.
Yes, yeah, he's a great voice actor for sure.
Yeah, one of those when you hear his voice again, you know exactly who that person is in terms of, I recognize this voice.
Kevin McDonald, come on the podcast. Would you actually have him as a guest on the podcast? I feel like of course. Of course. Yes. I know the answer is of course. But wouldn't you be nervous? What do we ask him? What do we talk to Kevin McDonald about? His experience with Lilo and Stitch? That's the only connection? That 70s show?
Is Oblivion better than Skyrim? And how much does he love Baldur's Gate?
It's fair. And is Joe Rogan overrated?
Yes.
And also, what's it like being an heir to the McDonald family? I'm sure you must be raking in the dough. That burger money?
I'd like to think if we had any guest, we asked them things that they've definitely never been asked before.
Okay.
We go out of our way to pick things that they're like, wow, I've never been asked how long it is. Jesus. While I'm here.
And not to your point, not in the way that Hot Ones, where they're always like, wow, that's a good question. I've never thought about that. Not like that. You're saying you're what would you say the circumference of your 4th grade teacher's wrist was? Yeah. If you had to guess. Because we have it here. We've got the info. And we will be testing you.
We just give them random math problems and calculate the circumference of the sun.
I feel like they could Google that. Well, I'll give them that.
We take their phones, and it'll serve 2 purposes. 1, they can't answer. 2, we have leverage.
And we have their phones. And I'm sure they have contacts to a bunch of more famous people. So we can contact them. This is a great idea. I did have a terrible idea for a podcast, by the way, a year ago.
This?
But it's a great, yeah, right. And then we started it, baby. But then, no, I had a terrible idea, but it's also a great idea. Okay. And it's very MTV, VH1, even HBO. Okay.
LOL, OMG, WTF.
Yeah. I was trying to think of another one. I couldn't. So the idea I had was essentially get Uber deliveries or Postmates or any kind of delivery service, right? Where you can assume the person delivering doesn't have a very stringent time frame, right? So it can't be like a Domino's delivery guy, because most likely he works for Domino's. He's got to be back in 5 minutes to deliver more pizzas, right? Mm-hmm. So this is more freelance delivery stuff. And when they answer the door, you essentially just say, hey, thank you so much. If I tipped you an extra $20-$30, would you be willing to sit down for 20 minutes and just talk about bullshit? We'll leave the door open. We promise this is not you know what I mean? Explain everything. Of course, there's going to be people who are like, fuck no, I'm out of here. But I bet,
this is kidnapping.
Yeah. But if you had a nice enough setup ready, right? But not too nice, right? But
the nicer the setup, the more this is rich billionaire hunting people shit.
But nice enough where it's okay, where and it's hey, you ordered a pizza and you're like, hey, this is also half yours now. You're in on this. Yeah. But no, and then just interview that person. And it's literally just being so why do you work at a pizza place? Or what, or not even, or that. Why do you, what got you to this point? And it'll be such a broad thing with such broad questions and but it's like, I feel like it would create the most interesting random conversations with just random people that would then leave and never be a part of the conversation or life ever again.
It gets really heavy. Like, well, my wife left me and I lost my dog in the war. And
bro, that would be the best episode though. Like, are you kidding me? That would be the episode. Like, yeah, that maybe I'm just saying one time I'll get an Uber delivery order and we can have a guest on the podcast.
Did you know I did Grubhub for a little bit?
No, I did not. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was one of my jobs that I had. Actually, I think had been when I was doing one of my payroll jobs where I just was not making enough to do what I wanted to do. So I was like, all right, I'll do some Grubhub. And it was an interesting experience, to say the least. I only did it for maybe a month or two. And
let me guess, somebody asked you to be on a podcast.
Yeah, no. But the whole reason I brought it up was they do at times pick up multiple orders. So we just have to be prepared
of course,
hold them against the will.
Yeah. No, of course. That's why I was saying, it's going to be one of those things where, I don't know, it's expensive. Because you're talking, you'd have to make 5 orders a night and hope one in those 5 people will stick around for 20 minutes. You know? Because, if all 5 don't, we just spend $120 on food.
Although, if that's a thing,
nothing out of it.
That makes it a dual part of the video. Can we convince a food delivery person to have a conversation? So that's the first half. And then the second half is a conversation. What if they don't want to leave?
Dude, that's even funnier. It's a 3-hour-long episode just because they're super into it. We play Mortal Kombat.
Like, well, I kind of got to go to bed. They're like, that's cool. I'll keep streaming while you pass.
Yeah, right. Now they think they're your close buds. I also think that the concept itself is attention bringing. If you tell someone, yo, there's this podcast where they interview random people that deliver shit to their door. I would definitely listen to an episode of that for sure. 100%.
You know what I think would be the coolest is if that person is a magician. And they're like, can I show you some magic tricks? That'd be fucking amazing.
Oh, you're fucking genius, Mitchell. Oh my God.
I've been telling people this, but nobody
listen, you're a genius, man. I could kiss you on the forehead. We don't do delivery stuff. We hire people who do things like that. It's like party stuff, like a clown or a magician or a dancer. And then instead of them doing it, we're make an episode about that life and then be like, hey, what's it like being this person? What's it like doing this career? If you're not interested in doing this, we'll pay you half either way, and then you can just leave and you didn't have to do it. You know what I mean? Or you stay, take the full payment, and make a podcast episode.
And maybe you become famous, and we take all the royalties from it.
Exactly. No, we'll make a contract. We'll make a fair contract. We'll make a fair contract. 10%. 10. That's generous. I don't know. We'll talk about
10% of 10%. Yeah, we'll get Carl to write up the contract. Thanks, Carl.
AKA 1%.
It doesn't sound as good.
No, 10% of 10% sounds a lot better. But
10-10.
You're a genius, Mitchell. That's what we're doing. All right. So next episode, we're going to hire a hooker. We're not going to sleep with them, but we're going to talk with them.
Not to sleep with them specifically.
Just to
we
talk.
Get someone whose job is to set up hooks on ships and stuff like that for fishing, and we're like, oh, not the kind of hooker we were looking for. But sure, that'll do.
That is like a Family Guy cutaway.
That is.
Lois, remember the time?
I accidentally hired a hooker, but it was the wrong kind.
Hey, there's a lot of fish out here. Oh, Peter. Yeah.
You actually sounded like Seamus a little bit there. I think that was the
dude,
the pirate-esque guy.
I know. Okay, now that I'm saying this on the podcast, I'm gonna do it. I want to make those ASMR videos on YouTube where I don't know if you've ever stumbled upon one, but it'll be like you're in a club bathroom while your friends are talking in the other room and there's EDM music playing or something. And it's like this very ethereal soundscape where it sounds
very specific.
No, I swear, dude, they're very specific. And it sounds like you're in a bathroom and it's like people are like walking on the floor and tapping, and you can hear like, hey, oh my god, and oh my, and you can hear like through the walls and shit. There's a bunch of those, and I really want to make one that's just called watching Family Guy stoned with your friend at 2 a.m. And it's just in the background, and I'm gonna record all the voices. So I'm like, Brian, come here, Brian. Oh, Peter, stop that. Hey, Lois. To like just fucking do that. But
it's actually pretty good, all of those.
Thank you. And it'll be like faded in the background, so it'll sound even better. And then you just hear like grinding of like a grinder, and like a bong rip. Hey man, you want a hit of this? Like little shit like that, and like you can hear the fan like rotating in the corner. I'm telling you, it's gonna have 3 million views. Ding! Yes, genius.
Oh,
yeah,
pizza rolls.
It's gonna have 3 million views, dude. It's watching Family Guy with your friends high at 2 a.m. ASMR.
There's another one. Is like conversations in the airport, but randomly you hear, "Did you set it off? Is it ready to detonate?" Like, but there's no indication that it's gonna be like
it's only a half an hour in. Yeah, like literally, it's so far in too. Like it's
it's actual ASMR. Then it gets like, "Kill them all. Don't leave a single survivor." It's like, what am I listening to?
No, fucking, it's a
gunfire like at the very end of it, just like, "You'll never take me alive."
And at the very end, you just hear, "Remember, no Russian." It's like, oh my god, this was the Modern Warfare cutscene the whole time.
Or at the end it says, "Thank you for boarding Spirit Airlines."
Oh my god. By the way, a lot of people... Oh, that's the best one-liner from a video game. Welcome to Spirit Airlines. Listen, I know you didn't get my reference. Not to the Spirit Airlines. I know you didn't get my reference. But there's a scene in the original Modern Warfare 2 where you're playing as an American insurgent pretending to be Russian, and the Russians are in an airport literally killing civilians, so you have to kill civilians as a player. It's really deep. Like, as a Modern Warfare game, it was like, whoa, are you making me do this? But it starts off with the guy like opening the elevator, and he just turns around and goes, "Remember, no Russian," and just like puts the mask on, and then you just start mowing down civilians, and it's like, oh my god, like, there you go. That's the best one-liner. I'm so nervous about releasing our last episode, by the way, because I fucked up the Halo thing so bad.
Really?
I don't think enough people listen to us yet to really care that much. But it's one of those things where we're like, what if by chance this is one of the episodes? It's like, oh, a couple hundred people listen, and they're like, what the fuck is he talking about?
All the most diehard Halo fans that have ever existed.
Exactly. So I just want to clear this up real quick. I said that the line was from the most recent game, Halo Infinite, and it was him saying, "finishing this." It is not from Halo Infinite. It is from Halo 2, or maybe even Halo 1. See, I might even still be getting it wrong, and I'm not going to double check.
You're making it worse.
And it's just when they ask him, "What are you doing, Chief?" And I didn't even get the quote right, because he says, "finishing this fight." That's the quote. And that's the best quote from Halo. In Halo Infinite, he says some bullshit like doing what I have to do. Like, it's still badass, and it's like it still works.
Yeah.
But it wasn't what I said at all. So I apologize.
That's disrespectful.
Yeah, I'm a bad person. I also didn't finish Takashi Kashi, but we'll talk about it a little bit next episode. Don't worry. I watched enough to talk about. Oh, I watched enough to talk more about it. Don't worry.
All right.
Don't you worry.
I'll accept it.
Oh, man. I don't even remember what we were talking about originally. ASMR?
Yeah. Always send more refunds.
What would be your ASMR channel?
Like, that I would make or I would enjoy listening to?
Oh, that you would make.
I would probably go with like a theme of, it's like, oh, a nice day at the park. But then, like, again, halfway through, you're like, is that a meteor coming towards us? Oh my god. Joseph? oh my god, somebody called ambulance, he's choking. Like it would all be just like titled like a beautiful day at the park, but then like something awful would happen halfway through it, and it would just turn into a nightmare.
You would go the just a bear route. No, what was that? What was the Adult Swim thing? I feel like we watched this together like really high years ago. Maybe you weren't there. I don't. Yeah, right. It's called like Just a Bear or a Bear live stream or something, and it was on Adult Swim, and it started at like midnight, and it was like a couple hours long, and for the first hour it was just like, it looked like just a live stream of a bear like in the forest, but then eventually like the bear travels out into like a suburban neighborhood and then like stops dead at this woman's car, and then like the woman has like a panic attack, and then like starts like the reality starts like breaking, and she starts like freaking out, and then it turns into like a drug advertisement, but then like isn't, but that like it's like so fucking weird. It's like the Too Many Cooks thing, you know, where it just goes off the fucking do you not know Too Many Cooks either?
No, I don't know Too Many Cooks.
Oh my god, holy shit. Okay, that's one of your assignments for this next week. We're gonna talk about Too Many Cooks next episode. You have to watch that. It's literally 2 minutes long. It's like,
all right, I'm sending it in our Discord chat so that way I don't forget.
That's fun, because so if you haven't seen these things or heard of them, there are things similar to what you're saying. My favorite one actually that has happened recently similar to that was hold on, let me lower my chair a little bit. Can't this?
You should raise it.
Hey, one of my favorite recently was in Shudder, the horror streaming app.
Oh yeah. I was like, haven't seen that.
Yeah, right. They released a holiday Yule log thing. Like, you know how every streaming service has like a fire pit? Like,
oh yeah, you can just set
fireplace. Yeah.
Fire pit.
Jesus Christ, I'm sitting here. Yule log, fire pit, like fireplace.
every name.
Yeah, it's like, so every like streaming service has their own, just put this on, and it's like a fake fireplace, and you'll hear the crackling and all that. And they had one on Shudder, and it was a couple hours long, and me and Audrey put it on, and about an hour into it, a murder starts happening, like just off screen. And so you hear like, oh my God, and then like blood splatters onto the fucking table. And then like halfway through it, the murderer picks up the camera and starts like carrying it. And then it's from his perspective. And it's like a murder. That's
really cool.
Yeah, and it turns into like a horror movie from his perspective. And then it ends up back in front of the fireplace. And like, it's such a creative idea. We are them. They are us.
They are us.
That's what I sent Gerbils when he joined the Patreon. Oh, by the way, we should mention, let's give a shout out to all of our patrons over at our lovely Patreon, where we give away little extra bits and release our episodes early and things like that. So here, I have the list of our patrons. Let's give them a shout out. We have Gerbils. So thank you guys so much for the support.
Yes. Thank you, Gerbils. And if you want to have the opportunity to be in a potential raffle, maybe we'll raffle some random shit off, and that would only be available to Patreons. Patreonites.
Patreons. Yep, the Patreons. So far, the odds are looking good for Gerbils. If we do have a
is looking like he's gonna get a lot of raffle prizes.
Let's just say there's a 1 in 3 chance he's winning. Well, we're included, obviously. I mean, if it's really good, I want to win too. You know.
We subscribe to our own Patreon.
It's a Carnival cruise, and I'm just like, I won! Yeah. Oh my god. All right.
We're definitely gonna need Carl for that one.
Carl. So this past week was the Golden Globes, Mitchell.
I found out about that when you mentioned the Golden Globes right before our podcast.
God damn it, Mitchell. We have a podcast. You have to be more culturally up to date, you know? You got to be
I do. I've realized that
honestly, I'm
so
kidding.
Out of touch.
But it's a little funnier when you're not. This is one of the few years that I think I saw almost every movie at the Golden Globes and Oscars coming up.
Really?
You know what? No. I shouldn't
There was
talk.
just something about that. I think I did. Really? No.
Yeah, I shouldn't talk shit because I watched 80 to 90% of them.
Did
Okay.
you? Because now I don't
Yes.
trust your word.
Yes, for sure. Because honestly, there wasn't much like nominated this year. We had Oppenheimer,
Baldur's Gate deserved nomination.
Killers of the Flower Moon, which was Scorsese's new movie. Poor Things with like that just came out, so it's like I didn't see that, but it literally came out last Friday. So it's like fuck you. Like what?
I have not heard of that movie. I have not seen anything in regards to.
It looks
what was
weird
Poor
as shit.
Things?
Yeah, it looks weird as shit. It's got Emma Stone in it, and the Hulk. What's his name?
Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah, Mark Buffalo.
Hey, I learned a thing.
And he was also in. Come on. A movie we
Puss in
watched just a couple episodes ago. He was a he was a scientist.
The Eternal Sunshine Spotless Mind.
Woo! Discord cut out a little bit there, so but it counts. I heard you say it. I heard you say it.
I'm
Okay.
a big kid now.
We're growing. No, but then also the Holdovers, that was good.
Didn't hear about that.
It was good, but it's just like, standard. Saltburn, which that was good. That was weird,
Never
but
heard
it
of
was
that.
good. And that's Barbie. Barbie got slighted for a lot of things, my friend. I'll tell you what.
I believe that. I haven't seen it, but that's one I'd actually be willing to watch because it looks funny.
The only thing it won was box office achievement. And that just kind of sounds like a backhanded compliment. Like, oh, well,
Like, you made a lot of money, but we don't want to give you anything else. And it's like, well, if it made a lot of money, it probably did at least a couple things right.
yeah, like numerically you did
That's just
well.
me.
It's like it's like the technically award. Yeah, fucking technically.
It's the
You get an award, I guess. It's like, fuck you.
you
God
made all
damn
the
it.
money all these other movies wanted to make, but that's exactly why we don't like you.
It did win for best original song, but technically Billie Eilish wins for that. Billie Eilish and Phineas. It's not Barbie that wins.
And Phineas and Ferb?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't believe.
Boredom is something up with which I will not put. It's the best quote from that show.
Oh, I was like, is that another movie? I don't recognize any of these.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, man. All right, so I'll go over some of the winners on the list here. So, animated feature film, which, hey, this is one I think we should watch. The Boy and the Heron. I really want to see that.
Never heard of it.
Oh, it's an anime. So you should watch it.
Ooh.
And it's I thought I mentioned this to you before. It's the one that's got Robert Pattinson in it.
No, I would have known because I have such a weird
Obsession with
don't-
Robert Pattinson. I know.
No, like I don't like him in things 90% of the time, but the Batman was so fucking good that I have to respect him now.
That's another month we need to have. I'm going to force a Pattinson month on you, but I promise there'll only be amazing movies and you will change your mind about this guy. I swear. You would.
Just so you know, for every non-amazing Pattinson movie you make me watch, I'm coming
There won't
back
be.
twofold.
There won't be though. You're just gonna thank me. You're gonna send me gold and frankincense and myrrh. But he does the voice for the Heron in the movie for the English dub. And if you watch the trailer, it's unrecognizable. People didn't even believe it was him at first because he almost does like a he's like Mark Hamilling it. Like he genuinely puts on like a hello boy. Like you can't even recognize.
I had
his
no
voice.
idea for the longest time that Mark Hamill was doing the Joker. Like Mark
Yeah.
Hamill is such a fucking legend.
I know, I'm
Again,
sure
he's-
people would give you shit for that, but no, dude, yeah, it's amazing. He's so good that you might not even know.
and people are gonna give me shit for a lot of things. I'm okay with that one as well.
It's fair. We should see that one. Cillian Murphy won for Oppenheimer, Best Actor in a Drama.
I know who he is. He was the main character. He played Oppenheimer in Oppenheimer.
Very good. Yes.
2 + 2 does equal 4. You're a genius.
You're onto it, son. Somebody hire this guy at NASA.
You can tell I'm bad at actors because I get proud of knowing who the main character was in a movie.
I have heard of that guy. The one who won Best Actor in Drama. Like the one you hope you did. It's like, oh, have you heard of maybe Robert Downey Jr.? He won Best Supporting Actor. You heard of that guy?
He was in that movie?
He was Iron Man. Yeah, he was in Oppenheimer. There's so many people in Oppenheimer. Fucking Josh is in Oppenheimer from Drake and Josh. And like,
he get in trouble for some stuff?
No, that was Drake. This is Josh.
Oh, Josh. We like Josh. That's right.
Yeah. He was in it. And like literally right before he presses the button for the test, he's like, I'm gonna do it. I'm just kidding. He doesn't say that. But I wish he did.
Oh my God. I really wish he did. He was in a few things that I remember when I first started.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm going to let you finish. But Audrey, at one point they asked him where the keys were and Audrey just went, Megan. Oh, shit made me laugh so hard. All right. What were you going to say? He was in a few things.
He was in a few things. And this was probably a couple years past Drake and Josh. And I was really surprised. He's a really good actor. Not because I didn't think he couldn't be, but he did the Amanda show. Like, I grew up with him doing a very specific character. So to see him branch out so successfully, I was like, oh, this is really awesome.
Yeah, no, he's incredibly good. For anybody at home watching this right now, I don't know how I got so far away from my desk throughout this episode. I don't know if you noticed that.
I noticed because you look so close to it now that it almost looked awkward.
I'm like, what the hell?
Because of how far away you are. See, it's funny. My chair doesn't roll. It's on like a stationary spot. So I have to like physically move it if I want to be any close. Well, I guess I could also just move the mic.
That's fair. Oh, yeah, because you got like the more comfier chair. Yeah, I don't know, man. There's not much really to say. Honestly, the Golden Globes is kind of like the lesser dumb stepchild of the Oscars. It's like the practice. It's like the practice run for the Oscars. It's like what's the point of it?
I totally forgot that there was like two separate.
Exactly.
Here's my thing, and I think part of the reason why I was like never interested in one, I felt like all the movies that won are typically movies that like half the population has never heard of. They're very obscure, or they're done by directors that did a very specific thing.
That's been changing
most people
recently.
Don't understand it.
I think.
Okay. Because for the longest time, I'm like, I just don't seem interested. It just felt like really rich people saying, we did a really good job at doing this thing that we're really successful at. Like,
yeah, no, okay. Pretty much.
And I can see like people saying like, oh, well, they have like awards for sports. But those are people who are actually pushing their bodies to like crazy levels of athleticism. And granted, I'll say there's certain techniques in film. And I think doing the podcast, I've picked up on more of these things where I'm like, okay, I get it. I respect it. But for the longest time, I was just so like, not against watching it where I'm like, oh, they should stop filming it. But I just never cared to watch it because I'm like, it's just rich people patting themselves on the back for literally doing their job.
I would say I agree with the part about it being rich people just hyping themselves up, because really it's them who's choosing who the best movies are. It's not the people. It's not like a People's Choice Award of like, oh, this was the best. It's like we were saying, like they give Barbie the box office achievement because it's like, oh, good job. But technically it's like, well, that might have been the people's best choice if that's the one that had the best So why does it get the lesser achievement? So yeah, it's
like the Electoral College all over again.
Here we go. But I disagree that it's any lesser than like a physical award. Because I think there is a lot of artistry and merit to it that doesn't require award. I don't think anything requires awardship, I guess. That's kind of a weird way to put it. But there's things to applaud and things to actually like lift up.
I'll give you that. I'll give the artistry part of it. When we look at even actors like Joaquin Phoenix in Joker. I mean, that was like, that deserves an award. And so I guess I think a lot of maybe more of those views were prior views that I had on entertainment as a whole,
that's
where
fair.
now that I'm older, I can also see, okay, somebody, again, like the level and extent that Joaquin Phoenix went to play that Joker role was absolutely insane.
Well, I think the most interesting part about a lot of the things, it kind of inherently has that problem when it comes to like directing, sound design, things like that. Because if you don't notice them, they're doing their job. If you don't notice the sound design in a movie, it's because the sound design is so good that you're just in it. Because if you notice something, it's because usually it's wrong. Yeah, it's like, oh, why did that voice sound too quiet? Why is this too loud? Why? If you don't make any of those comments, it means that it was perfect, most likely, because what else would you have to talk about? Because nobody else really talks about how good sound design is. That's something I try to notice in movies, especially being more of a musician and like focusing on like audio and things like that. I have started to take more of an appreciation in sound design, even with like fan films that I've been watching on YouTube. Like when there's ADR and somebody does like speech over the fact afterwards, if it's well done, I take account of that and I'm like, that was really well done. Like that's good ADR, and I try to make it a point. But yeah, I think it's sadly one of those things. Even stunt work, like if someone pulls off an amazing stunt, it almost goes unnoticed because it's just like, yeah, you did it. Like you, like, and what's funny is we don't even give awards to stunt people that we should.
I was about to ask, is there a stuntman award? Because
not really.
If anyone
no.
deserves an award, it's the people who they hire, so that way their stars don't get hurt. Like, are you fucking serious?
Yeah. No, like that's some of the most incredible work. VFX artists, they don't really have awards. Like, yes, there is a best VFX award that goes out, but almost always it just goes to like the movie that has the most effects. Not the best effects, the most effects. So it's like Ready Player One or like shit like that. But then there's movies that you find out aren't like fantastical. Like I can't like Dunkirk, for example, or like a war movie where a lot of it is CGI, but the whole point is that you don't even notice that it's CGI because it's so well done. So of course people aren't voting for that for the best VFX because you don't even notice that it has the best VFX, you know? Yeah, so it's kind of inherently interesting with sports because it's like, it's obvious when someone is the best at something, it's not discreet. It's not like, like maybe the best comparison would be like a defensive lineman, you know, where it's like, oh, everyone really gives it to the quarterback, but if he didn't have that lineman, he couldn't get those throws off. So it's like he's got one of the best linemen on the I'm sorry, offensive lineman. Yeah, excuse me. I almost was there.
Before we get raked over the coals. You were really close.
Yeah, I was almost there. Shot. Yeah, I was almost there. So yeah. Well, I bet that there's some people who would have the opposite opinion you do, though. Like, there's some reviewers on YouTube I even know who are so fucking kind of like, I don't want to say hoity-toity, but definitely very much like art, like movie is art for art's sake type of reviewer, that they have the opinion of like, well, why give awards to sport people? Like, oh yeah, you threw the ball really well. Good job. You know, like that, like, that's the way they look at it. And it's like, oh, okay. Like, it's almost from that, it's like the same angle reversed, you know? It's, I don't know. But yeah.
They're wrong. But okay.
Yeah, you're both wrong. No.
And that's where you're wrong.
I'm the only one who's correct. Yeah.
Welcome to the internet.
Welcome to me. Welcome to being me in my life. Should we talk about Matt Pat?
Yeah, I'm a little sad, Pat.
Yeah, I am too.
But
I'm
like,
sad, Pat.
I'm happy for him because he does bring up I think a really good topic. That I will say, there's one channel that we'll talk about afterwards that I think I'm totally okay with going on for forever. But he makes a good point where he's kind of like, you know, there's usually two ways you exit, and it kind of goes back to the Batman kind of, you either die the hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Yeah,
he's like, I can either exit, you know, after we have the best year that we have and leave on a really great note, or I can do it on into obscurity for forever and just become kind of forgotten about. And I respect that. I will say the people that I never want to stop doing what they do is Game Grumps.
Yeah.
I think Game Grumps are forever. I'll tattoo that on.
I know. I will admit though that if they did, I wouldn't blame them, because I even find myself not watching them as consistently. So it's like, if I'm not watching them as consistently as I used to, if I am the general populace watching them, quote unquote, other people aren't watching them as much either, because I used to watch them every single day. Like, Game Grumps were one of my dailies, for sure. Yep. Now it's like at the end of a week, if there's a couple episodes I missed, I'll catch up on in a little binge or something before bed, or like, it's kind of become one of those. So I don't really know. I haven't really noticed their viewership, if it's gone up or down. Or I know they have a couple episodes every now and then that are like bangers, but I'm not really sure. Oh God, excuse me. I would hate for them. Yeah, we love you guys. I would hate for them to end. I kind of understand the MatPat thing though, because I was feeling it a little bit. It's so weird. Wait, didn't we just last episode?
Actually, we did. And this was before his post. You were saying how you felt like there were certain videos you could tell he wasn't writing anymore because he just didn't feel as like
invested,
connected to it. Yeah. You can quote us on that, and we have timestamps. That was recorded before he released his adios
his video. Goodbye. Yeah, son of a bitch, man. I really wish we would have released that episode. I mean, we couldn't have. There's an order to this.
Literally impossible.
We could have. We recorded it before. I could have uploaded it, technically. But there's an order to this. We have to keep our order. Literally last episode we talked about how I felt as though his content was feeling less like him. And now it makes sense. They were kind of probably phasing him out to make the transition of the new people coming in way easier. Like, I doubt that their plan was to just one day stop MatPat writing and producing and acting and then go into the next people. There's been a lot of YouTubers leaving this year. Tom Scott is one I watch. He makes like short form videos that are just very insightful, kind of like, I'm at this place and this is what they do here. It's almost, I don't even know. It's hard to describe.
Was it the Meat Canyon guy as well?
Yep. Meat Canyon's taken a while off. He said he's still going to be doing his like personal channel, which is him doing kind of like random videos where he's like, this is a movie I watched and this is weird, but from his like cartoons, because I didn't even realize he was uploading a cartoon once every 2 weeks. And like, that's like, for a cartoon,
that's a lot of work. That's a lot.
Fucking nuts, dude. And I guess he was just saying like it became factorial. Like he just wasn't feeling like he was doing anything worth it. He was just making something for the next cartoon, which makes sense. I think Rubber Ross did the same thing. Ross, he felt like making cartoons on YouTube was just a little too much. Like, you just have to keep up with constantly posting. Yeah. So he took a step back from that. We talked about the MatPat thing on the phone a little bit earlier today, and I got my little frustrations out about it. I'm not going to go too hard into it, but no, I'm going to miss him a lot. I did genuinely grow up loving him, and his videos are amazing, and we watched him all the time. He's a big part of my YouTube like upbringing. But as part of what we were saying in the last episode, there was this kind of like lack of sincerity in him, where I don't know if sincerity is the right word. It's just that like he's such a YouTuber personality that I don't know when he's being sincere and when he's being MatPat, the YouTube personality, because he's done serious videos like this before, but I don't know. I don't know. It was just something about the video that felt very theatrical. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think it wasn't like genuine. Like, I think that there's still like, I think he felt the emotions he was feeling, right? But I think I think he was leaning into those emotions, if that makes sense. Like this emotion makes for good content, lead into this emotion. Because if you compare that goodbye video to almost every other YouTuber's goodbye video, you'll kind of see what I'm talking about, where very clearly he was like, I'm just going to lean into the emotional side of it. I don't know. It's like a people reading thing, you know? It's like when people are bullshitting you or not, like over so many times of dealing with people like in customer service or things like that, you start to get a feel for what is like acting and what is like a genuine thing, you know? And like when someone is like, I think I mentioned to you, it's like the biggest thing that got me was the teardrop. It's like you physically saw a tear go down his cheek and then he let it sit there and dry for like 2 to 3 minutes. And that's like one of the most unhuman things I can imagine. Like and like, I don't know that. And that's where I mean, it's like leaning a little bit more into that drama. And it's like, it's not that the tear wasn't real. It's that his response to it and like wasn't real. Does that make sense? Am I making any sense?
No. I think you're making sense. I watched the whole video, and he does preface the video with like, I didn't script this. The other thing I was thinking is it might just be, I almost want to call it a camera effect, where humans will always act differently when they know they're being watched. So while maybe in terms of in person, you're crying, you wiped a tear, maybe there's something about the camera, and don't touch your face too many times when you're on camera. That is a natural thing that affects it. But I also know that given my field of work, I tend to fall more in the line of I'm just going to trust people at their word.
That's fair.
And just kind of give them the benefit of the doubt because I don't know. But I think at the end of the day, we both agree he was a huge part of the YouTube community. I mean, how many times have we referenced that's just a theory, a conspiracy?
Oh my God,
any multiple times. So it's one of those, his influence like is undeniable.
Yes.
And he made a great point where he's just like, we've created such a crazy following across 4 different separate channels. Yeah, he's left a huge impact. I think if he's going to do it, this is probably the best way to do it. I had noticed this as well. He's had other people on his channel that have kind of been like, oh, this is, I think, Santi for food theory, or this is, I think it's Tom on game theory, involving them a lot more to create. And it was something that I'd kind of had in the back of my mind, or of like, oh, he's bringing a lot more people on, and I wonder if that is to be able to balance his time. But I do like that he did take into consideration, I think this is kind of going back to my HR background, that he's like, this is too much for one person. I want there to be one person for each channel, so that way somebody else isn't taken away from their life as much as, you know, this affected me. And I, again, being a parent to 2 kids, I believe he has, and the amount of time that he had to dedicate to this, I have nothing but best wishes for him, and I know he's going to do great things.
Yeah, no, I respect him. I respect the man. I have no quarrels, really. You know, like I love him. I hope he does well, whatever his next venture may be. I honestly, I think that's part of it. Like if I was to make my own Matt Pat theory, you know, and this isn't me, you know, trying to spread rumors or trying to start some gossip or some shit. I'm not going to post this as a fucking TikTok short or something. This is just, if I have a theory, it's just like seeing the span of his work and what he's kind of done and become. I think it just wore on him. And I think what I noticed is that. I think it's that because early on, of course, he was the Matt Pat that's always like, well, that's just a theory. But the only time he did that voice really was like the intro and the outro. And then in the middle of the episode, it was like, all right, let's break down the facts. But if you watch like a recent video, it's like the entire thing is the Matt Pat voice. And it almost feels like he has to like force this voice because he doesn't really even want to do it anymore. So instead of just being like, okay, let's break this down. We have this, it's like, all right, so if we have this and then this, well, that can be, like, it's almost like a Guy Fieri thing, the whole episode. And it's like, It's again, yeah, I think it's like a facet of him losing the passion for it, and not because he doesn't want to do it, but because, well, shit, you've done it for 10 years. You have a fucking kid. You have kids.
You have kids. You have a wife. You have a life that you want to build, and you want to be there for moments.
And an empire. You're now, delegating other people on top of doing your own thing. So, of course, it's going to get overwhelming, and it's going to be over. And that's where I think, like, maybe, again, my theory leans into a little bit more of like, maybe he was worried that if he wasn't sincere in his goodbye video, that people would think like, oh, you just wanted to fucking leave the whole time. You know what I mean? Like, we could just tell you were ready to go and goodbye, fuck you, Map. And so to avoid that entirely, he was like, you know what? I'm just going to be raw emotions, and like leaned into the emotion for that reason. Cause it's like, well, I better do that. Cause if it was a very sterile, like, I'm leaving, I'm not gonna, everyone would have been like, what's happening? Like what? So
are you being kidnapped?
He almost had to be emotional, because other YouTubers that are leaving have hinted at it. Like Meat Canyon, he was kind of hinting at it a little bit. And then Tom Scott, he made a video like 6 months ago that literally said, I'm leaving YouTube in 6 months or something like that. So like he made it very clear that he's leaving soon. So yeah, there are, I think that kind of feeds into it a little bit where, again, I'd like to make it a point. I don't think that what he was doing wasn't genuine. I just think that he leaned into the emotional side of it for the sake of like showmanship and the show, and then there's nothing wrong with it. It's like you said, the camera effect. Now, if you were to start to get into psychology of it, it's like, well, does that make him less genuine because he thinks more about the camera? Then it's like, I don't know. I'm not trying to get into all that, obviously, but it's like, it is a thing, clearly. But yeah, I don't know. We'll miss you though, buddy. I'm not sure what you're going to do next.
Missed. And that's not a theory. That's a fact. I'm proud of that. I don't care what you say. I'm proud of that.
No, I'm wondering if he made some connections with during his FNAF filming. Maybe he'll try to do some acting, because that's usually shorter gig stuff.
You know what got mentioned in one of the recent videos, and I'm like, that would have been the craziest fucking twist of all. It was that MatPat and Scott Cawthon were the same person. How mind-blowing of a twist would that have been?
If Scott Cawthon never existed this whole time and nobody bothered to look into it, really?
He's just a character that MatPat made to like, oh, I'd give him all the credit. He'd absolutely the coolest
step away
fucking
from everything.
FBI hire him immediately.
Yep.
But
all right. Somehow, Jesus, we're over an hour. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about?
Bubblegum flavors? No, I had nothing else.
Do you like bubblegum flavored things?
Yes, but here's the thing. I love cotton candy is like my favorite treat.
Ew.
So the cotton candy bubble. Okay. Do you prefer
real cotton candy's great. Cotton candy flavored things are trash.
Oh, dude, cotton candy flavored gum. Oh man,
you
just
like
to get that continuous cotton candy. Yes, the Hubba Bubba, or no, it's Bubblicious. The Bubblicious with the duck on it, the cotton candy. And then there's like cotton candy sour straws that I think I've had that are super good. Cotton candy, anything is fucking immaculate, bro.
No, dude.
Do you prefer minty gum or fruitier gum?
It depends on what my desired outcome is. Do I want fresher breath? Mint. Do I want just to chew gum? Fruit.
It's so funny because I hate like minty gum, but if somebody's ever like, hey, do you want a piece of gum? And they're like, it's minty, I'm still gonna say yes and chew it because I like gum. I don't like the cinnamon gum, the kind of big red that's got like the kind of spicy kick. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. This is bubble gum. It's not Mexican candy.
I had a weird kick with it for a while, but I don't. But you know what's funny? I don't like super sweet gum either. Like I used to like Fruit Stripe, and now I'm just like anything similar to that. It's like, why?
I love fruit, but the problem with Fruit Stripe, and I realize this has been like meme to death, is the flavor lasts like 30 seconds.
Yeah, of course. Then it's gone.
You know, in honor of Matt Pat, we should do a theory. We should get fruit stripe gum and then chew it until it loses flavor and be like, we can definitively say it will last about this many seconds.
We should do it for our brother.
It's what he would have wanted.
Yeah, no, bubblegum flavor's trash, dude. I'm sorry. I respect your opinion.
Dude, it's so good.
It's not. There's not a single thing flavored bubblegum.
Pepto-Bismol?
All right, you got me there. No, well, okay, last topic. How do you feel about birthday cake flavored things?
So fucking good.
Oh, God damn it, dude.
So good.
So gross. It's so nasty.
It's good.
It's just dried vanilla icing. That's all it tastes like. It's just gross, dry vanilla icing.
That's still good.
That's still good. No,
okay, cake or ice cream? What's better?
Inherently?
Ice cream.
So
it's
like,
ice cream.
No, hold on. You're saying the best cake versus the best ice cream. Cake. 100% cake. Are you nuts?
Ice cream.
No,
Ice cream
okay.
better than cake.
Okay, no. Grocery store cake versus grocery store ice cream? Ice cream. Of course, all day ice cream. But the best version of either of those things? Cake. 100% obvious. You could have ice cream in the cake and it would still work. So it's better. No, it's still better.
But if that means it would still work, then that makes ice cream inherently better because
I'm not saying
it would
that.
add on to it.
No,
Like cake would take away from ice cream.
No, cake does not. No, it does not. Because if you have little cake bites in your ice cream, delicious.
Oh, so little cake bites would be delicious with a majority of ice cream. So ice cream is better.
No, the same way a little bit of ice cream would be delicious with a bunch of cake.
But there's no ice cream cake that has a little bit.
Yes,
It's like
there
almost
is.
half of at all times. It's like almost half.
Because
I
all
work
you've
at a
had,
Dairy Queen, sir.
Exactly. Because all you've had is your cheap fucking Carnival Dairy Queen ice cream. Listen.
That's soft serve. It's not even ice cream, Tyler.
Go to
using your government name.
Go to fucking what the hell is it called? Go to Cold Stone and get one of their fancy ass ice cream cakes and you tell me what you have to say about cake is better. Cake is better.
I thought you were gonna say go to hell, but you're like, what the hell is that called?
What the hell is that place called? It's the one that not heaven. You know.
Oh hell, I can't think of it.
Damn it to hell.
No, dude, ice cream is superior. All right, let us know in the comments. Do you like ice cream more?
No,
do you like
this
cake
is
more?
This is so ridiculous. So you're telling
It's
me
easy. It's ice cream.
No, okay, yes, ice cream is amazing. I'm not arguing if ice cream is amazing, but I'm saying that if you had top tier bowl of ice cream next to top tier cake, you're telling me you're not getting a slice of that bad boy? Oh my God.
Ice cream.
You're out of your mind. We might have to end this
Because you can have more ice cream than cake.
No.
Cake is filling, it's spongy.
Oh, delicious is what you're saying. And then
Not
halfway through a bowl of ice cream, it becomes liquid. So what, you have to drink it? I'm not drinking it.
Some slow churned
You're making me hate
ice cream.
You're making me hate ice cream the more I think about it. Yeah, the more I think about how much. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
that sounds like a cop out. You're just trying to not admit how much you see. You've wavered where I've been like absolute in terms of ice cream is superior.
No,
and I think
I've
it showed.
never wavered. I've never wavered. My only point was that
Vanilla wafered.
No, hear me out. All right. This is where I'm a nuanced boy, okay? This is why I could never be on a debate team because I would lose, because I would say something that's against my own point. But my point is that mid-tier ice cream versus mid-tier cake, ice cream always wins. Of course, bro. But if we're talking about best cake versus best ice cream, it's the best fucking cake every day, dude. Every day.
What is the best cake? What is this imaginary cake you've invented?
Exactly. But I'm saying, what's this best ice cream? What's the, because there is a version of a best cake I can imagine. What's the best ice cream? What are you talking about?
Bro, actually
Ben and
like
Jerry's?
hand churned.
Okay, yeah, it is really
like
good.
an
I'm not
actual
even going to play.
hand-churned
No, so good.
I was gonna say you like Ben and Jerry's first off.
Of course, yeah. Oh no, in hand churned, like soft ice cream. I love it,
dude.
Of course, so good, but not as good as like a fucking Or like, oh, dude,
It's
a
better.
cheesecake. It's not better. It's not better.
A cheesecake?
A cheesecake.
Oh, I thought you said. Okay, hold on. That's like its own separate. You're not putting
now
like
we're-
birthday cake in the same category as a cheesecake.
Wait, are you only specifically saying vanilla birthday cake versus ice cream, or are you saying all
I'm,
cakes?
Like it could be
Okay.
like a red velvet cake.
Okay.
I'm just saying
Yeah,
it can't
no, then
have like
cake.
that
Then cake.
creamy texture to it, because I feel like cheesecake is like the in between a cake and ice cream, because you have that kind of dairy creaminess, but you have more of a firm, I'm not gonna melt if it's been on the counter for a little bit.
So then is cheesecake the best? Then should we just agree that cheesecake is the best? It kind of is.
Cheesecake kind of the best.
Like let's hear me out. You go to a party, there's 3 things on a table. Like, you know, you don't like chocolate. So vanilla birthday cake with cream cheese ice cream or icing. Incredible. Like the best version of that. In the middle, a nice French vanilla ice cream, hand churned, soft, right? It's got some caramel in it, whatever the fuck you like. I don't know what the fuck. Yeah, there you go. Whipped cream, Jimmy's. You got sprinkles.
Slow down.
All right, no sprinkles.
I'm not against
Take away
them,
the
but they don't.
No, take them away.
They don't like. Take them away.
Jasper, send back the sprinkles. So no sprinkles. Okay.
Jasper's our chef now.
Yeah. And then at the end of the table, just a normal cheesecake.
Oh, cheesecake.
Yeah. I'm going with a slice of the fucking cheesecake, dude. Like I'm it could be a grocery store Kroger brand cheesecake that they pop out of one of those plastic like tins. I don't care.
Bro, cheesecake is, and I can say this, I've had like an ultimate version of a cheesecake. My wife and I, because of her job, got invited to a very like French fine dining restaurant here in town, which was, oh dude, like I'm probably 2 promotions away from being able to actually like eat there and not worried about it. No,
I'm about a figure away from affording that.
When I say the softest cheesecake, it was a texture almost like ice cream the way it melted, but it still had its shape. The consistency was, dude, top tier cheesecake beats like everything.
Right.
So okay, we can definitively agree cheesecake is best.
Yes. 2nd place cake, 3rd place ice cream. All right. Thanks everyone for listening to the Neon Valley podcast. We appreciate your patronage. Speaking of patronage, go over to the patreon.com/Neon Valley Pod. And
Go
for
join
only,
Dribbles.
yeah, for only $2 a month, for less than a cup of coffee. That's it. For less than a cup of coffee.
In this economy?
In this economy, only $2 a month. And you get extra little bits. You get episodes early. You get shout outs every single episode for as long as we have enough time to shout people out. Because if for some reason one day we end up having a lot of patrons, it might be awkward to shout out like 100 people in one
The
episode.
entire episode is us just reading the list of names.
Kyle, Steven Josen. Yeah, it's like, oh God, okay. So make sure to join that Discord, Reddit, all that good stuff.
Join it.
Mitchell, got anything else you want to say to the people before we end the 30-second episode?
Check us out on Twitch. We're more consistently live streaming on both our channels. Skorge is over there big on some Tarkov, some Baldur's Gate action. Might be joining me. I be doing a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! So if you're into that kind of stuff, you should definitely check us out. Links will be in the description.
Hell yeah. All right, guys. And remember, 3716. Okay? 3716. Bye.